asks, is blowjobs wrong in marriage? YouTube, this is for educational purposes, okay? Educational purposes.
Tell me why I actually kind of like this angle.
Because it causes me to stumble, and because it turns me on. I cannot believe I'm saying this on the internet. Somebody asked how to take rejection from a boy. No, it is not incest, like some people in church history have thought. That's low. The thing we're gonna be talking about is makeout sessions.
Huh? Hey, nerd, is this... I feel like we're a little slanted.
It's not a sin to wear a tampon, people.
Off one shoe.
Because masturbation will never fulfill you.
In fact, I'm also filming in my school parking lot. Mommy, just switching sides.
Okay, let's talk about forgiveness, okay? And God gives us grace, so that's how I'm able to give other people grace. Let's move! Let's clean! Is it wrong to imagine you're in a relationship with somebody?
Please don't mind me. I'm literally just gonna turn the car around.
Somebody asked, is it hard for me to not fall back into masturbation?
I'm not wearing a seatbelt either because I'm just reversing.
Do I miss sex?
Please don't pull me over.
Some days I'm like, I want to go sleep with somebody. I've been rejected. And you only have sex to get pregnant in marriage. Masturbation, how I stop the urge to want to masturbate. Thoughts on Christian girls making the first move?
Good lighting.
Right now my tripod is literally my backpack and my parking passes. Woo! Hey, what is up you guys? It is Katie Patterson and welcome to my car. I wanted this to be a little sit down, a little talky talk, a little chit chat about girl things. Nothing is literally off the limits. Today we're doing a TMI Christian girl question answer. A couple months ago I actually did one of these and you guys really loved it. You guys really love talking about sex, porn, and lust, and that's why I'm here. And so today we're going to be answering some more questions that you have that I didn't get to in the first video. I also put another question box where you guys could put in more questions. So I'm going to be answering those today. Today we're going to be talking about makeout sessions. We're going to talk about periods, sex, porn, do I miss sex? All the good things that you guys are wondering about me, my life, about being a Christian girl and what's biblical and everything like that. So I'm very excited about this video today. Make sure you go follow me on Instagram and TikTok at katyy.patyy with 2 Y's on each side, because there you can ask some questions. You can learn about my journey. You can be encouraged in your faith. So please go follow me. Like this video, subscribe, join the Katy Patty fam. Never called you guys that, but today we're gonna be calling you guys that. I'm so excited about this video. I'm a little nervous, but here we are in my school parking lot. I really hope nobody I know walks by. Please tell me if you guys like my hair in the comments, because I did a little sleek bun moment. I don't know if I love or hate her, so please let me know, please, because I really need to know. So, first thing we're gonna be talking about is makeout sessions. Okay, you have a boyfriend, you're in a Christian relationship. Should you guys be making out? Is that a sin? Is that not a sin? This goes along with some boundaries. And you know, this is a hard topic because a lot of people have controversial opinions about kissing, if kissing is even okay, if hugging is even okay. And all I'm gonna say to this is Matthew 5:28. Guys, on this channel, on this TikTok, on every platform that I have, that verse is in almost every single one of my videos, because that verse should be telling us where our boundaries are in relationships. It talks about how lust is a sin, and even if you look at someone lustfully, you've already committed adultery in your heart. Then you make out without lusting. That's a question you need to ask yourself. 3 questions I'm going to give you to ask yourself in order to navigate if this is okay. 1, is it causing you or the other person to stumble in their walk with God and have lustful thoughts, lustful feelings, lust creeping up? 1, is it making the other person stumble? Because we know, as followers of Christ, we need to guard their heart, we need to guard our heart. We need to know that before marriage, they are just your brother in Christ. Now I know, that is weird to think about. It is not incest, like some people in church history have thought. You have to remember that God only sees you guys as brother and sister of Christ or married. So are you honoring and glorifying God in this relationship? That's the second question. Is making out glorifying and honoring to God? Like what you're doing, is it leading you to lust? Or is it just a form of affection, like form of showing that person that you love them? People are riding their bikes past me. This is awkward. This question I have is it respecting your future husband? Now, that person that you're dating dating may not be your future husband. I know that's kind of controversial to say. Not married, they're not your husband, okay? Is what you're doing in that relationship with your boundaries, with your emotional boundaries, with everything to do with boundaries, is that respecting your future husband that we are called to wait for? We are called that everything sexual orientated is meant for the marriage bed. A professor is literally walking by as I'm talking about sex. Hi, Dr. Kienzler. Don't mind me just talking to a camera about sex. Well, as I was saying, is everything sexual, everything like that is meant for the marriage bed. That's what it's meant for. So, is making out causing you to stumble in your walk with God? Is it honoring and glorifying to God? And is it respecting your future husband? That's the 3 questions you need to answer for yourself. Pray about it. Ask yourself it. Because for me, I struggle with lust. I cannot make out with my boyfriend. Not that I have a boyfriend. I said that like I have a boyfriend. I cannot make out with people because that causes me to stumble in my walk with God. That's not honoring and glorifying to God in my own life, I don't think. And it turns me on. If we're gonna be honest, it turns me on. So I can't do that, okay? I can't do that. In my own personal boundaries, when I have boyfriends, I know I can't make out with them because it causes me to stumble. And because it turns me on. I cannot believe I'm saying this on the internet. Gosh, a friend just walked by. Why is everybody walking by right now as I'm talking about how making out turns me on? Now you know that about me, is I can't make out with somebody because lust creeps up. And I can't do it. I can't do it, people. So, now we're talking about periods. Okay, we're talking about periods. Some people ask me my opinion on periods. I don't know how this is a topic in the church or with Christian girls, but they asked, is menstrual cups okay? Yeah, take care of your period however you feel you need to. It's not a sin to wear a tampon, people. Why am I saying this on the internet? I'm gonna get demonetized. It's stressing me out. Take care of your periods however you feel. You know, you can take pain. Medication is not a sin. Use your menstrual cups. Use your tampons. That's not a sin. Somebody literally asked me if tampons were a sin. They're not. Take care of yourself. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say for this topic. We're gonna talk about masturbation because, you know, that's a topic in the church. I talked about it in my last Christian TMI Q&A, but we're gonna talk about it again. Masturbation is a sin. It falls under the category of lust. And also, like I just said about making out, is anything sexual, anything that turns you on, anything gets you going, is meant for marriage. So, talking about before marriage and after marriage is a whole different conversation that I answered in my last video, so go check that out if you want. Masturbation, how I don't masturbate. How do I talk about this? Masturbation, how I stop the urge to want to masturbate is I flee. 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18 to 20, or maybe it's 2 Corinthians. I gotta check that. Talks about how you should flee from sexual immorality. So when you're in your bed alone at night, that's when I get triggered to want to masturbate. You need to flee. Get up, FaceTime a friend, go to the bathroom, go get a snack, watch the Wiggles. It doesn't tell you to just stay and fight off like whatever's coming on. It says flee. So I get triggered in my boredom and my loneliness is when I'm late at night and I have no accountability and I just want to go do that. So literally when I feel the urge, you know that urge that I'm talking about, that urge that I'm like, oh, just one time won't hurt, or like when the enemy really tries to put those lies in your head, flee, run, rebuke them, get up, leave, because masturbation will never fulfill you. It's not. It's only gonna leave you with a skewed idea of sexuality. It's only gonna leave you a skewed idea that you can please yourself. When God has made sex with 2 people into one. God has made sex 2 becoming one, and masturbation is 1 person. So masturbation is never going to fulfill you. It's never. Do not believe the lies of the enemy. Rebuke the lies of the enemy, because that's not love. That's not what sex was meant to be. Sex was meant to be a good thing from God, okay? Sexuality, getting turned on is not bad. That's not bad, but it's also a sex drive that was given for marriage. So that sex drive and that is not bad in marriage. But when you take it outside of God's design and masturbate or foreplay or making out, turning on, getting all sexual, that is when it becomes a sin, because God's trying to protect your heart. Masturbation is never going to fulfill you. Masturbation is never going to make you whole. So rebuke the lies of the enemy, people. Man, I just went on a tangent
because that is an important topic, people.
Is it wrong to imagine you're in a relationship with somebody? So, first of all, having a crush on someone is not a sin. Like, liking someone or wanting to be in a relationship with somebody is not a sin. It becomes a sin when you idolize a relationship, when you place that relationship over your relationship with God, when you are constantly thinking about it and not being content in your singleness. So when you're thinking about that person and wanting to be in a relationship with them, when you have a crush on somebody or when you're liking somebody, you gotta remember that you can't idolize that person. You cannot idolize that person because that person will never fill you, will never complete you, and 9 times out of 10, that's only gonna leave you feeling more lonely and more wanting validation from that person. Trust God with it. Pray about it. When you're like thinking about wanting to be in a relationship with that person and thinking about all this stuff, pray and be like, God, I pray that you fill this void inside me because clearly I'm not being contented in my singleness right now. God, I pray that if this relationship is from you, that you're gonna make it happen, that this boy pursues me, that even if that boy doesn't pursue me or even if that relationship doesn't happen, I'm content because I know that you are a God that knows my desires, will fulfill my desires, and also a God that loves me way more than any boy can. Boom! I'm speaking some truth today! Amen! Can you only have sex to get pregnant in marriage? No! I talked about this in lots of videos. We're gonna talk about it more. But no, literally sex is meant for pleasure, people. Sex is meant to be good. God gave us a sex drive. Read Song of Solomon. You will see how sex was meant to be a good thing, not just for multiplying. Yeah, that's a factor in it. A plus B equals C. Didn't think that made sense. Obviously, sex is like to procreate too. Like, that's why we are here. But sex is also meant to be good. You're supposed to enjoy having sex with your husband. You're supposed to be intimate with your husband and like want to sleep with your husband. Like, that's normal to want to sleep with your husband because you're turned on. But remember, sex is meant for marriage. Sex is good in marriage. It's not just to procreate. I suggest you all go read Songs of Solomon. That man, he loves his wife. I just saw this question while I was reading through the questions. Is somebody asked, is it hard for me to not fall back into masturbation? And yeah, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, gonna be 100% transparent, too much information is like sometimes it's really hard for me in my boredom and my loneliness, and luckily, praise God, I have not fallen into that sin since coming to Christ a year ago, have not watched porn, have not masturbated. But there are nights where I'm like, the enemy's really speaking in my life and really like, Katie, it's just one time or blah, 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 all this. And I need to rebuke. I need to flee. I need to pray for strength because we are weak, yet the Lord is strong. He is the one who can fight our battles for us. The only way we can overcome sin is through him. So, yeah, let's talk about forgiveness, okay? So somebody asked me, is it hard for me to forgive people of my past? And honestly, yes, forgiveness is hard. It's a hard thing. Forgiveness is a choice. Your flesh does not want you to forgive that person. Your flesh tells you to hate that person, tells you that you should get revenge. But the Lord says, vengeance is mine. And God gives us grace, so that's how I'm able to give other people grace. Forgiveness is hard, and I'm not saying that it's an easy road. The reason why I am able to forgive the people of my past is because I used to be them. That boy who wanted me for just my body and called me all these mean names, I was him in a different form. I viewed sex as an object. I viewed him as a transaction, all this. So it becomes a lot easier for me to forgive the people of my past when I realize I was them. God still gave me grace. God still loves me. God still wanted me. And God still called me his child. I am just as sinful as that person. I am just as sinful as my worst enemy. I am just as sinful as anybody on the street. I am a sinner. I am. And just because you come to Christ does not mean you stop being a sinner. It means that you're made right with God because Jesus died on the cross for you. And Jesus died on the cross for that person too. Forgiveness is hard, but forgiveness is a choice. And forgiveness does not mean you allow them back in your life and be best friends with them and get back together with them. That's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is accepting that they made a mistake and they are just as much as a sinner as you. And you are choosing to forgive them because you know that the Lord is going to handle it. That the Lord that says the vengeance is mine. I don't need to take revenge against them because I know the Lord's got it. I trust the Lord's got it. I trust the Lord's got them. If you're struggling with forgiveness does not mean that you allow them to be your best friend again. You put up boundaries. You don't have to talk to them again. You don't have to be their best friend again. Forgiveness just means that you are allowing the Lord to handle it and trusting that he's got it. But he asked, do I miss sex? How do I even answer this? But I'm gonna be honest, gonna be 100% honest. Sometimes I get that urge that I miss sex. But I still deal with the baggage that I don't really feel loved when my clothes are on. That sounds like I just feel loved when I'm naked. Some days I'm like, I wanna go sleep with somebody because I'm not feeling my worth, because I'm trying to get my validation from this world. I have not slept with somebody since coming to Christ. But there are some days that I'm just like, I miss sex. And the enemy sometimes tries to say that, Katie, that's all you're loved for. Why don't you go back to it? Katie, remember when you felt so loved and valued? When I didn't feel loved, I didn't feel valued. That was a fake form of love. That was not love. That was a fake form of love. So yeah, sometimes I do honestly miss sex, but not for the right reasons. It's because the enemy's getting in my head saying that that's all I'm valued and loved for, and because of the baggage I have. But I don't miss sex because it made me feel like a piece of crap. It made me feel like I wasn't valued and I was only a body. It made me feel like my worth was dependent on how good I performed in bed. I hated my body. I hated myself when boys wouldn't stay because of my body. So no, I don't miss sex in that regard. I don't miss sex because I know it wasn't in God's design, and I know it'll never fulfill me, that it will never make me complete. So, thoughts on Christian girls making the first move. I'm all for you making the first move, going up to someone, whatever. I don't think that goes against biblical pursuit. Biblical pursuit means you do not have to chase something that the Lord sent you, aka relationship, aka not chasing a boy, not begging for him to love you, not begging him to be that standard, not begging him to be the standard that you have put in your life. If he doesn't meet that standard, he's gone. I'm so sorry, but you deserve the best. You deserve what God has designed for you, which is a kingdom man, which is a man after God's own heart, which is a man who will pursue you, a man who won't be afraid to love you how God designed him to love you, okay? So, make the first move, do whatever you want in that regard. Like, I don't think making the first move or texting him first or like, you know, like asking him for coffee first is bad. Before that relationship, before you get like the talking stage, the liking stage, you should be the one being pursued, and obviously pursuing him back. But he should be the one that's praying to God about this relationship, praying over you, asking you, pursuing you, because that's what a kingdom man looks like, according to Ephesians 5. What? Did I just say something wrong? It does not say the wife goes finds a man. It says the husband finds a wife. Finds a good thing, because we are good things. Yes, we are. I'm gonna make a whole video on this. I'm passionate. How to take rejection from a boy. I've been rejected. Let's be real. I've been rejected. I'll be honest. It hurts a bit, but we gotta remember, ladies, that our worth is not in boys. Our worth is the creator of this world. He's the one that gets to determine our worth, and our worth does not depreciate because a boy doesn't want us. Let me say that again. Our worth does not depreciate because a boy doesn't want us. Our worth is not found in men. Our worth is found in God. So yeah, it may hurt, but you need to remember that you're a daughter of a king. Remember your kingdom identity, which is loved and intricately designed by the same creator that designed the sunsets, the oceans, those amazing things and landscapes. He also created you and thought you were needed on this earth, okay? I don't even know what that meant. Yeah, it sucks. Being rejected by a guy that you like, obviously it sucks. You're allowed to feel like it sucks, but do not for a second think that your worth is in that boy. Your worth is in God. Somebody asked, is blowjobs wrong in marriage? I'm gonna say outside of marriage and in marriage. Outside of marriage, like with your boyfriend or girl, the only girls are watching this. So with your boyfriend, blowjobs are a sin because it is lust. It is not honoring God's design for marriage, when all sexual activity, as I just said, was meant for marriage. So blowjobs, foreplay is a sin. I have a whole video on that. I will put that down below. I'm probably gonna do another video on that one because I don't really like that video as much as I like my new content. So probably might make a new video about that. Before marriage, blowjobs not allowed. You're seeing someone who is not your spouse naked, when you're only meant to see your spouse naked. After marriage, go wild. Go wild, because you're meant to have good sex. You've been waiting your whole life for this. Song of Solomon tells us how sex is enjoyable. Sex is supposed to be enjoyable. So blowjobs are not a sin after marriage. Again, sex is not just to procreate. Sex is to be good. So after marriage, blow all the jobs. No. That wasn't a good line. Maybe I'll keep that in there. If I kept that in there, I'm really comfortable on this app. Okay. Okay guys, I love you. I'm gonna be making a part 3 because there's so many questions that you guys have, and I want to be the big sister vibes. I want to be answering your questions because I love you and I want you to grow in your faith. I want you to have a great time in your faith. But I love you guys. I'm praying for you always. Please comment down below what videos you want to see next. I have 4 months off from school, so I'm so excited to be doing new series ideas. I'm so excited. So I love you all. I'm praying for you, and I hope this video wasn't too awkward. Maybe it was. Love you guys. Bye. Oh, I didn't cover that well. Bye.